Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sincere, I know you're all muted, but I believe you can all hear me. Sincere apologies on behalf of the National Coordinator, who happens to be in a higher level meeting and is unavoidably absent for this meeting. However, she has given me the directive to carry on this meeting. Thank you, Brian Duru. My name is Hawa Suleiman, the National Help Desk for the Data Quality Management. I would like to welcome you all to this meeting and also appreciate you for your promptness in joining the meeting. As we all know, our capacity for the Zoom is 100, but we have provided an alternative link via YouTube for those who cannot join here. Unfortunately, those on the YouTube cannot talk when it comes to question session, but they can type in their questions in the chat room. We will pick it from there and try as much as possible to answer. This meeting was called so that we give everybody sense of belonging. Shukura, however, asked the SDQM, delegated them to conduct the meeting on her behalf, but she wanted this meeting to make everybody feel that they are all recognized and appreciated for all the sacrifices, hard work, and enthusiasm shown towards the census work so far. So we'd just like to use this medium to inform everybody that officially, for now, there is no date for the census. However, we are all expected to all be on top of our games as much as possible, try to revise all what we have been taught so that we don't lose touch when the date is finally communicated. So please, there's no official date for the census yet, but like I said, from next week, God's willing, we'll be sending assignments via our respective SDQMs to everybody so that we can keep ourselves engaged and don't forget our DQM processes. Hello. Okay, yes. The YouTube, I'm sure by now our SDQMs must have sent to our various platforms the YouTube videos that were put together by some particular DQM functionaries. So those YouTube videos are also there to keep all of us engaged. And like we said, ask questions as much as you can. And you also on your own part, you're expected to make yourself available to your SWF trainees that you have been mentoring for any question they too might have. That's one. Then secondly, is to brief all of us on the allowances due to DQM. We just concluded training for the refresher training that lasted for 6 days or 4 days. Some states have been paid 66,000, and we understand some people have not been paid. So we want to use this medium to officially inform all of us that the coordinator did not at any point stop the payment, but is working tirelessly to ensure that everybody is being paid what is due to him or her. So if since the inception of the DQM activities, if there is any outstanding payment you have, please collate it and send to your current SDQM, telling the person what particular activity you are being owed. That's one. Then secondly, where you worked. That if you are posted to Lagos State now and you worked in Ogun State previously, you speak to the Lagos State SDQM, letting him or her know that you were not paid for this particular activity when you worked in Ogun State. And also, the coordinator has asked me to tell everyone that the DQM will not condone any act of misconduct or thuggery. Because sometimes last week, some people in the end-to-end, that did the end-to-end test who have not been paid were initiated a very, very rude and not appreciated protest, which we were not expected to do, because of in every aspect of our life, we have always taught and we encourage people to be civil as much as we can. Even when you claim to be fighting for your rights, let's not forget our manners. And for all of us having come this far, we have all participated in different levels of trainings. You can see the amount of trust and respect that is being accorded to all our DQMs. So you cannot afford to start behaving like a tout, if I may use that word, when the whole functionary on the field looks up to every one of us. And it's on that note, I'll also let us know that before commencement of the census proper, we are all going to be giving contract papers for those who are staff and who are not staff. We'll be giving contract papers and expected that those papers will be signed by a guarantor who will be held responsible for any misconduct, either being, if you're caught maybe technical divulging of information, or for those who are planning to live with laptop that will be assigned to them to work, a very senior officer working with the federal government is expected to sign that letter for that contract paper for you, alongside a pastor, an imam, or any respectable member of the society. So with that, failure to provide that might not make you might not make it possible for you to participate in the census activity. As we all know, census is a very, very serious process for the whole country. So we cannot afford to engage people with such delicate and office that will not be able to trace them whenever we need to. Laptops have also been sent to states that will be available for work. And this is going to be part of our pre-field activities, where all SDQMs will have to sit down before people go to their local government of posting. We'll sit down together and configure the laptops, or he'll take us through what we need to know and do about with the laptop. So it's really important for all of us to be in touch with our SDQMs for any information. Sorry, my network ceased at some point. Okay, and also we also want to let everybody know that we are aware that there are programs, online trainings going on in within the different units of the census process. So we want to assure you all here, by joining this meeting, tells us that you are all DQMs. So please, the DQMs will not tolerate any double functionality by anybody. If peradventure it's time for the training and list comes up and any DQM's name is found on that list to have attended or participated as a facilitator, SWF or DQAA, please note that the DQM unit will gladly hand you over to go and complete the job you have started. Because if you have trained up to this stage of being posted and you are still participating either for money or for relevance in another arm of the census process, it just shows that you are not loyal and cannot be trusted with such sensitive data. As we all know, the data that is expected to come in through the DQM to be monitored and validated. So please, we also will be busy with assignments from the coordinator. So we don't expect anybody to go and take too much, because by the time you're taking too much that more than you can carry, one end has to suffer. It's either the DQM, your job as a DQM suffers, or your job as a facilitator, or otherwise the other side, the other end will also suffer. So please, we are pleading with everybody that you should please choose a struggle. If you feel you want to become a supervisor, or this, kindly let your SDQM know on time so that we can know the actual space we have and know what step to take next. Lastly, before we take questions, we also want to, even though in the Southwest, we have not really had reports of areas with serious insecurity issues, but we want to assure everyone that for those who are posted to areas that are vulnerable and are of high risk, we want to let you know that you will not be working in these places. If your local government has security threats, you'll be arrangements are being put in place where you'll be working with from the central, either the local government headquarters or the nearest LGA that is safe. Meaning if, for example, somebody working at this local government, if there's security challenge there, he or she will either relocate to Ibadan or the nearest local government that is safe. If Ibadan is very far from where you are, you go to the nearest local government and work with the DQMs posted to that local government. Safety of all DQMs is of priority. So we just the posting is on paper to show that every LGA has a functionary that's going to take care of all that has to do with the LGA in terms of validation and data quality. But if the LGA is not safe, there is no DQM that's going to reside in that particular LGA for the work. You're going to work either from the state capital or the nearest local government that is safe. So you work, there'll be more than one DQM in the situation room for that local government. Okay, and on this note, I want to appreciate us one more time, and we're going to open the floor now for questions. We might not be able to take all due to time and number, but for those who want to ask questions, you can please raise up your hand, then we'll take you through one by one. For those we cannot take their questions, we ask you to please send it to your SDQM, who sends it to his zonal and collates it for us. For those who will be calling directly, we'll try and do that. And others that are not to, if it's a general question, your SDQM would would give you your answer. So I can see for now we have from Oyo State, Olubayode Olusukomi. You have the floor.
Okay. Good afternoon. Um, Good afternoon, everyone. So I wanted to ask. You mentioned something about the remuneration for the previous work that was done. So I want to be exact. If the 66,000 that is promised us is the total amount that will be paid for the just concluded 6-day training that was um, that we just concluded. That's the last train that was concluded. And I want to say, going forward, I think another platform should be adopted for this kind of meeting so it can absorb a larger number of people. I type it in the chat box saying we could use Google Meet or Microsoft Team. So with that, to be able to accommodate a larger number of participants instead of having to move people over to YouTube, and those on YouTube won't be able to participate actively in whatever meeting it is that we're carrying out. So that's just the little I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Olukayode. Yes,
Olubayode.
the the training that was just concluded was not handled by the DQM. So another wing of the census process coordinated and prepared payments. However, the 66,000 is what is going to be paid. But when the payment commenced and it was brought to the notice of the director, she made a case for everyone, and she has gotten approval from what she told us this morning. So everybody will be, from that 66K, she was made to understand that they paid 10,000 per day. So she has asked she applied and has gotten approval. And now you'll be paid your complete money, which is 15,000 per day, and also transportation. For those who came from within the states, like that is if you are in Oyo and you trained in Oyo, you'll get a token for internal transportation, while those who came from other states will get something that is commensurate to where they are coming from. And for your second observation or suggestion, it's been noted and appreciated. Thank you. We have from Lagos, Ajetomobi Adewumi.
Yes. Good afternoon, House. My question or my suggestion is on the data that will be sent to respective DQM. Sending SME data for us is not encouraging, because that such type of data doesn't last while using it to suffer through the internet. So instead of sending SME data to us, I think the data can be monetized so that respective DQM can improvise for the data he or she needed for the exercise. That's my question.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I forgot to mention, going forward, when you're going to go and walk, you're going to be provided with routers that will already have data loaded in them. So I believe at that point in time, you will not have to complain whether it's SME or not SME. And we should also want to know that this project is being run by a management. And in as much as the management is open to suggestions and observations, there are things that you cannot enforce. You still have to go by what the management wants to do. But by the time we all report to our local government areas, our offices will be furnished with, we are told that there are laptops, there will be routers, generators, everything that is needed to keep the office up and running. Thank you very much. We have from Ogun, Samuel Ologunjo.
Good afternoon. I think my question has been answered already. The question I wanted to ask has been answered already.
Okay, then we'll take Abiola Adisa from Oyo.
Good afternoon. My question is about accommodation for some of us that are disposed out of state. So how are they going to provide accommodation for us in local government that we are going to, somewhere we are not familiar to, so somewhere that we are not familiar with, that we don't know anybody, and you are supposed to stay there and work for some number of days. So how are you going to survive? Or we have to look for accommodation ourselves, or there has been any provision or grant for that? So that's my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. For the issue of accommodation, for those of us who are civil servants, we know there's what we call per diem. When you are being paid your per diem and you're going to a different state from where you are working, the per diem means that that allowance covers you looking for accommodation in that place. So you're going to be paid accordingly to get accommodation, and also transport allowance will also be made available. However, I'm aware that the management in talks with state governments to kindly assist if they can. It's not sacrosanct. If they can, they are pleading with them to please provide accommodation for functionaries who will be coming from elsewhere to come and work during the census period. Thank you. Okay, from YouTube, I can see Olarewaju Saliu is asking, when are the GQM will be paid for the SWS virtual training? I didn't get a briefing or directive on that, but I assure you, we'll get back to you once we channel your question to the coordinator. You'll get a response. From YouTube also, we can see Toye Kazim is asking, good afternoon, House. When will we start census proper? Probably this person might have joined late, but for those of us who happen to be in the same category with Kazim, I said it earlier that for now, there is no official date communicated from the Commission for census. Census there's no date for now. So once they give us a date, we'll let you know. Okay, thank you very much. I think we have taken all that we have. There's no question on the YouTube, and nobody is also raising up his or her hand. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you. And we're also pleading, like I said earlier, for those who have outstanding payments, please submit it so that we can start working on it. Thank you very much and have a very good evening.